All right. So just going to review a little bit. So on Sunday, we looked at the 7 skills needed for success. We're talking about how journalists notice stories every day, but they choose stories that have to do with the issues that are important to their community. Um, you had homework where you were supposed to write a news story using the social injustice of education. Read one short article, and then it says 10, but then write a news story and use all those elements. Those of you that are writing the story for tomorrow, social injustice is when what we think of basic rights, like the right to life, happiness, and the pursuit of excellence, or an education, or prosperity, whatever those rights that we think that everybody should have, is somehow violated or broken. So if we think of something like slavery, or genocide, or child labor, human trafficking. Um, so these are things that go against, like starvation. Um, these go against what we think of as social norms. That everybody deserves to have food, shelter, and feel safe. So anything that goes against those would be what we would call social injustice. And doing my own homework, I just Googled examples of social injustice in education. And some of the things I came up with would be discrimination. It can be gender based, it could be economic, meaning that sort of that WASTA idea that the more power you have, then the more you can maybe get away with things or make changes that are better for you, but not for everybody else. We live in a very varied national, a lot of nationals. I'm getting tired, so it's not coming out right. There's a lot of nationalities at the school. So is there equity? Is it equal across the board? Or all not necessarily races, but are all nationalities considered equal? These would be social injustice issues to point at for AIS. So that's what you block E. You've already completed this. Block G and H. This is where you are coming to class tomorrow. All right. So then this is what block E did today. And G and H, you'll be doing it tomorrow. This is where we're looking at human rights specifically. So you had looked at this article of all these different human rights, and then I had you watch a video, and then we look at the video and we say, okay, what social injustices stand out to you? What are the things that we declared and say that every human should have not being shown? And what we came up with was the number one on the video was that they didn't feel safe. Like the one thing that everybody should do is be able to wake up and go to bed and feel safe. So then we have a discussion, and then about social injustice, and then we look at the mini lesson, which is think about narrative writing. You know, when we write a fiction story, sorry, I'm gonna yawn. Oh, sorry. We try to set it up, right? It was a dark and stormy night. The trees branches were like claws that were shredding at my skin. The earth was swallowing the soles of my feet, and I was sinking deeper into the dark depths of the night. Okay, so again, Wheaton goes dark and twisty, but we try to set it up that way, right? Then we have dialogue going back and forth between characters, and we have all this. You can have all that in a newspaper article. You just have to step back and sort of do the same storytelling, but more of an observation and not quite so dramatic. So again, I suppose if I was going to tone that day down, I would say the storm was raging over Kuwait. The trees were bent over as if to touch the ground. It was dramatic and powerful all at the same time. You know, it's not quite so dark and twisty, but you know, hopefully there's this image, and then I might tell a story about a firefighter saving, a family, or a tree that fell and somebody was pinned underneath it. Again, I'm being all dramatic, but I'm gonna tell the stories. So you use the same skills that you would write a really great story that people want to read, except for you do it from more of an observation, that you're telling somebody else's story, is the way I look at it. Homework. Homework was pretty simple. After you given it some thought, you look at the Declaration of Human Rights article that I gave you. It's on article, sorry, it's a sheet. So look at this. I'll put a link on that, but you have it. And then you go to this link right here, and you are going to complete like a survey, and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to look at this social injustice, so whatever article number it is, and then it says subtopic. So what you can't put in there is whatever it says on the article. So I don't have it in front of me. What was it? Gosh, I keep yawning. I apologize. Drawing a blank. So the one about being safe, in your, I think it was number 23 or something like that. So your subtopic is, I would go Google that article and ask for examples, and then find an example that resonates with you. That remember, it has to fit your community. It doesn't have to be the AIS community now. It has to be something to do with Kuwait, the Middle East, the GCC, something in this region that your community, of where you live in, this topic would be important. And that's what you're going to write down on that form. Remember, once you put it on that form, that's that. It's done. That's what you're going to be researching. So be careful about what you choose, okay? Be wise about what you choose. All right, I think that pretty much sums it up. Remember, so you listen to the video, you go through everything. If you still have a question, ask a peer. And then if something doesn't make sense, come see me. Good luck.